Hey there YouTube, it's Mountaineer 304 back again with another gun review. Today I decided to switch gears again and review something that I haven't really seen a whole lot of being reviewed. We see our Glocks and all of our semi-autos and stuff, our newer lines reviewed all the time, multiple reviews all over YouTube. I know tons of my subscriptions, I see them all the time, so I've decided not to break those out yet because they're done. People's done them. Let's try something a little different, a little more unique, if you will. A little different line in total. We see revolvers get reviewed all the time also, but this one's a little different, a little bit more unique. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Colt King Cobra. This specific pistol was built in 1989, bought in 1989 also. The Colt Revolver line, these snake guns that they're called, if you will, was first introduced in 1986. Took over the old Colt Trooper Mark V revolver that was, standard and around before these were around. Kind of took the same V-frame design, if you will, and just kind of bulked it up, made it a little more unique, a little more tougher. Like I said, they were introduced in 1986. They ran from 86 to 92, and then they were discontinued, unfortunately. They made a return in 94, but Colt dropped them again in 98, and they have ceased production since then. And honestly, they probably never will pick production back up on these. When they were first introduced, they were $300, $400, $500 guns at the most. They were fairly economic guns. They weren't, real expensive. I mean, they weren't. They were expected to be good guns, but they weren't, the $1,000, $1,500 guns they are now. They have doubled, some tripled in price. They were originally marketed for law enforcement and civilian. They came in a 2-inch, 2.5-inch barrel, a 6-inch, and an 8-inch barrel originally. They had a blue finish, a matte stainless finish, and then this shiny stainless polished finish. Like I said, they were based off the Colt Trooper Mark V. They're almost just like those pistols, the Troopers. They did decide to go with a heavier barrel on these guns. They definitely made the barrel a lot more heavy duty than what it was on the Troopers. They also put a full barrel length cylinder ejection rod and a protection shroud, which was real nice the way they encased it. And they also put a reinforced rib. You can see this on the longer ones, especially on the 2-inch is still harder to see. A reinforced rib on the top of the barrel to just give it a little bit more strength structurally. But anyway, let's jump right in this review. Like I said, this gun was originally purchased in '89. I've had it for a little while now, actually a good while. Very solid piece. Very heavy piece though. I mean, it's not your everyday CCW pocket gun, if you will. This was when quality was still standard for just about everyone, and Colt really hit it on top of the head with this one. Of course, we've came to expect that from Colt, though. All of us Colt collectors and us Colt followers. Anything that's had Samuel's name on it seems to be quality, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people that will agree with me. The finish on these things is excellent. This thing's 25, pushing 26 years old, and the finish looks better than some of my newer revolvers that sit in the safe all the time, right beside this one. A few unique features in this thing, though, were they did enhance the trigger guard a little bit. They came with walnut grips and then these rubber original grips. These are the original grips that came on this thing. You can see the Colt signature on them. They had different variations in them though. One thing that was extremely nice about these guns is and this is something hard to find on lots of revolvers, trigger pull, excellent. This thing's single, double action, either way. But the trigger was so nice, so crisp, so meaty. No grittiness, no crazy break. You could either, put it in 2 different action modes and fire away, or you could just simply pull the very nice, non-gritty, very tough trigger. Like I said, Colt did make the barrels a lot more heavy duty on these. And they also put the extra rib up top. They also put adjustable sights on the rear, and then put the high visibility orange marker on the front, which is, in my opinion, is very nice. It's very easy to see. Very, very nice addition to these V-frame pistols. This thing was, like I said, it was chambered in a 357 Magnum, but it also fires 38s. Nice for targeting or practicing or whatnot, because we all know that 357s aren't the cheapest thing in the world. Another thing that Colt did that was pretty neat on it is the cylinder release. Most of your revolvers and stuff, you push the cylinder release forward, cylinder falls out, so on. Not on this baby. On this one, Colt switched it up a little bit. It's a rear cylinder release. You pull it backwards to release the cylinder. You've got your, for the 80s, usually 5-shot was standard. They put the 6-shot in this one. So you've got, back then this was considered a high capacity cylinder. Like I said, they upgraded a few things, made the heavy duty rod here with the nice encased shroud right there, which I think adds stability to it and protection. They did some beautiful engraving on these things. The King Cobra etching there looks exceptionally well. These guns are run fairly flawless, to be honest with you. Like I said, I have a King Cobra, a Viper, and a Boa, and they all run exceptionally well. Very accurate. Very, very, very little recoil, and that's coming from the gun being, fairly heavy. It's a fairly heavy framed gun, which is a good thing, because you are shooting a 357 Magnum round, which is not the most less recoiling round out there. But these things hold up really well. Very thick, though, very thick and meaty. If you think, a Glock or something is too thick for your hands, this thing would definitely be too thick for your hands, but it fits really well into the hands. These grips, these original rubber Colt grips, are awesome. I also have some Walnut Grips, but I prefer these grips to look down my sight and take aim and fire with this trigger. That's one thing that people are still talking about, is how well these triggers were made. And they were made very, very well. Like I said, they're awesome triggers. The whole gun actually is exceptionally made, in my opinion. And that's funny because, back in the day when they produced these were going to be Colt's economy line, if you will. Like I said, you can purchase them for $300 or $400, and now you can't touch them for usually under $1,000 if they're in fairly good shape. I mean, with little to no defects, and this one has been a safe queen all its life. It's been fired 18 times in the whole 25 years that we've had it, so it's been a safe queen for sure. Very tough, very reliable, heavy duty gun though, that will not fail you. Just keeps firing and firing. Like I said, it's very accurate. Like I said, I've only shot this thing 18 times because it's lived in the safe, but those 18 shots counted. I fired a cylinder of 38 through it, and I fired 2 cylinders of 357 Magnum through it, and it did exceptionally well. Great grouping, no muzzle jump, no snappiness to it, just nice, clean, smooth shooting, which is very rare to find in a 357 Magnum. But they built this thing to be that. Like I said, they marketed it for law enforcement and for civilian use. So it, if shit hit the fan tomorrow, this would be one of the guns that I would bring with me. Yes, it's only a 6-shot revolver. It's not an FNX that holds 20 rounds or whatnot, but those 6 shots you definitely will make count. These snake guns are very desirable guns. Lots of Colt collectors are after them more than they are after like A2s and A1s, SP1s, and whatnot. And that's just because a few years ago you could find these guns. Now you can't so much. And if you do, they're usually not in tip-top shape. 95% or better is what most people are after. And that's getting tougher and tougher to find. A lot of people bought these just kind of not really beat them up, if you will, but they just didn't really, they took them for granted, kind of, because they expected, oh, this is a economical gun that isn't going to jump quadruple in value, but that's not been the case. As we all know, anything Colt is pretty desirable, especially the older stuff that's still in immaculate condition. Which there's two reasons for that. One is Colts had produced some wonderful firearms over the years, and they've also had some blunders over the years. They've also had some financial trouble over the years. Number two is Colt builds their guns to last. They're finished. I don't care if it's on my 6940, on my 6940P, or my 6931 or 6920. It does not matter. Their finishes are great. Even the old gold cups that I have, they're all great. That's one thing that I have to give praise to Colt about is their finishes. They never did lack in the finish department. Some guns did. Colt never did. But overall, exceptionally well gun, well made, heavy barrel, nice add. Like I said, the shroud, the ejection raw, everything is the way it should be. If they still built guns like this, Colt would still be selling revolvers. Just my opinion. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick review on my 1989 Colt King Cobra, chambered in a .357 Magnum in the high polish stainless steel. Figured I would jump around and jump into the revolver line because I've not seen a bunch of these reviewed, and I figured I'd put this thing out there. But anyway, this is Mountaineer 304. You can leave any questions, comments, or any other ideas or anything you want to in the comment box. I'll be coming at you with a SIG P938 Extreme range report here later today, probably. And also, I did some bullet testing here the last few days, various brands and whatnot through various AR-15s. I'm going to do a review on those also. And then I figure I may break out the 6940 or one of the Daniels Defense. We'll just see. But anyway, we'll catch you all on the flip side. This is Mountaineer 304.